Talk to the guys on the 1620 The Zone by calling the Prairie Flower Casino hotline. Each week, we will be giving out a $100 gift card to Sky Bar and Grill at Prairie Flower Casino. You can enter and win now at 1620 The Zone.
We welcome in our good friend who is his mother and father-in-law. Tom and Mimi love me like they do Jay. Jay Moore joins us now. Yeah, so, 2 weeks ago, I met Mimi for the first time. And I've known Tom for a while. I had a long discussion out at Elkhorn the other night with Tom. They're good people.
Was it a good discussion? It was about me? Who was it about? What did you guys talk about?
We were talking about boundaries and enrollment in Elkhorn.
Oh, sure.
He has a little bit of history there.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, great job last night on Big Red Wrap-Up. I know those shows are not very easy, but I thought you three handled it very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the player perspective. So before we go forward, let's go back. Give me your response to what you saw Friday night from I'm a former player, but I also analyzed the game. Can you balance those or separate responses?
100%. I think, Damon's been a part of games where you didn't perform well, and I've been part of more of them just because the teams at Nebraska, I wasn't as successful, obviously, as DB was, but I mean, he was part of the 96 game down in Tempe, the 92 game, Iowa State. I think he was on that team. I don't know if he played redshirted, but anywho, games where they kind of slept walk, Wyoming, you mentioned Washington State. And I've been a part of games where we should have won too. I think of 04 at Iowa State, easily should have won that football game. Iowa State was not a great team by any means, but that was slightly different. That was Coach Callahan's first year as head coach. But like I said on the show last night, I'll never really question the effort played in the game. I think the guys played hard, but I am about 99.9% certain they didn't prepare the right way, and that's why you saw that product that we got on Friday night. I think it was a culmination of multiple things. I think you get a short week where you have to travel. You come off a good road win in the fashion that you did against Maryland, and I don't think they fully respected their opponent. And when that happens, you get. I think I'll steal DB's term. Just the emotional maturity. This team's still pretty young. And there's still a handful of coaches on the staff who haven't coached a lot in the Big Ten. And when you look at teams like Minnesota, Northwestern, and we've learned this the hard way, you see them play other teams, you watch them on film, they're like, man, how can we not beat these teams? Once you get into them, man, they kind of back you into a corner and force you to play their way. And if you're not ready, you can easily get lulled to sleep and get punched in the mouth. Also, you're like, holy smokes, I wasn't prepared for that. Nebraska wasn't prepared. That's as way I can put it. When you have as many miscommunications on the offensive line, I thought the game plan was not great on both sides of the ball. You want to call it vanilla. I think Emmett Johnson deserved way more carries, and I just don't think they prepared their guys the right way to handle this football game. I thought they could come out here. Maybe they thought they could dictate just because of what they seen from Minnesota and do what they wanted to do. But just from a physicality perspective, they were not there. They did not prepare the right way. They did not get after it. And I wasn't at practice, but by the results I saw on Friday night, I can almost guarantee you they probably took it a little lighter in practice, tried to take care of the guys' bodies, do the necessary things that one would think that you could do after a win, after you're traveling and you got a short week. But when you have a young team like this and they're not quite there, man, you can't let your foot off the gas, and you can't give them an ounce of. I call it like an exhale. You can't allow a team to have the success and go, huh, like almost like we have arrived. And I feel like there was a sense of that going on this last week, and they underestimated Minnesota, and it bit them in the rear end. And I guarantee you they're going to prepare the right way for Northwestern this week, because if they don't, then I tell you what, this back half of the season could get a little dicey. But I know just the tone of the press conference we saw the last 2 days, I think things are going to get fixed rather quickly, and they're going to prepare much more appropriately.
You guys did a great job yesterday talking about that, the emotional maturity and maybe not taking Minnesota too serious enough, rather. Do you think that this game, them getting punched in the mouth and not responding is kind of the thing that they need to cross that threshold into becoming a mature team to having that experience?
Yeah, I hope it does. I 100% hope it does. Well, it's either one way. It's either you get better from it or you get worse from it.
Mm.
And that's just I you can say that about anything really in life. Either getting better or you're getting worse. And I hope that that performance makes them a much better team, and not from, I guess it's everything, but mentally, physically, emotionally, X and O's wise, they got to be better. And you can't sleepwalk, you can't tiptoe, you can't half step into anything once you get into conference play. And I don't care what the opponent showed in the past. You got to approach every single week the exact same way, no matter if you're preparing for Iowa, USC, Michigan State, doesn't matter. You got to approach each game, each week the exact same way, because otherwise, this is what happens. When you don't respect your opponent and you think you can go out there with not an effort that, or just a game plan that you thought you just roll your helmet out there and perform and take care of business, that's not handling it the mature way. And I've said it here before. I don't care about the energy that they show on the field before the game. I know that got talked about. I'm a big proponent of, we call it FE, false enthusiasm. That can happen a lot before games. If you prepare the right way Monday through Friday, I don't care how you come out before the game. You're going to handle your business. If you did the necessary things Monday through Friday, you can come out all hyped up. You can come out flat as hell in the warm-ups. But I know one thing: you're gonna have a good product because you did the necessary things during the week. But yeah, this is one scenario. This game on Saturday morning is gonna be very telling about the nature of and the mentality of this team, the staff going forward for the rest of the season. They come out flat and showed a lot of the same issues, then you got to call a spade, and you got to figure out, well, you're going to see the same type of product potentially for the rest of the season. Or if it's fixed, they're calling better game plans, putting guys in better situation, utilizing the athletes that they have, putting guys in better situations defensively to win their one-on-one battles and to make sure the back end is not putting into tough situations to make run to stop the run in certain situations. Then good. That's what I expect to see. But yeah, I fully expect them to get better from that performance on Friday. I truly do.
So let's and the disrespect of Minnesota is alarming at this point, and there's rat poison and the things that have been mentioned. But I know offense is a discussion about the offensive line and Dylan and everything that's involved in running the ball. And it's still crazy to me that Emmett, only 2 of his carries Friday night were after first down. But I want to focus on defense because you guys discussed this, and I'm trying to bring it up all week. And John Butler talked yesterday. John Butler's kind of turned into, I'm going to say, Jay, an internal punching bag because it's hey, why are you twisting too much? Why are you running this? And that's not working. You got to go back to being vanilla. But he talked yesterday. He acknowledged that he was not as aggressive after the Taylor 71-yard run. I think he told me something that I'm uncomfortable with, that his faith in guys being able to make the simple plays or do things that he could like scheme up went out the window when he saw another long run bust like that. What was your read on his response to that question when he uses the word, you're too vanilla or you're too aggressive, where he's at 7 games into his season as a defensive coordinator?
He's in a tough spot because it's like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I've been on this show and others, and I'm a fan of being more vanilla, more basic, more traditional. I feel like that's what you fall back on. But and again, maybe some of the defenses I were on were more talented, and you can do that. It's hard, man, because you do certain things. Like I said, I hated all the twists and just running guys out of gaps, and just makes it really, really difficult. here's a hard part is when that play, that the long one, the 70-yarder that they had just in the first half. I mean, that's just basic. What I broke it down last night is Elijah Judy was in the A gap to the boundary.
Okay.
So then they had a C gap player. I think you had Watson Trent in the B gap. I think Merritt was behind an opposite A gap to the field side. I don't remember if they had a three technique. I can't remember exactly who was towards. I can't remember if it was a 3-man or 4-man front. But essentially, Nebraska was gapped out. So in that situation, when I saw what Judy was thinking, because he saw that he was in a good spot, head butted the center, was right there, saw the delayed handoff to on the zone read to the running back. He goes back door. So now he's in the opposite A gap. So essentially now we have two guys in backside A. I just don't at this point when you've struggled running the football, and I want guys to play aggressive, and I totally agree, guys to take chances. But that's just a common situation. If he stays front side A gap and doesn't go back door, that play is a 4-yard gain. He goes back door, trips, falls down, creates a huge hole. Now Merritt has struggles getting over top. Watson Trent gets eaten up because he's 1-for-1. And then Buford has to come down and make a play, and that's just hard. That's so I don't care. I know he needs to do better, but I don't care who you are trying to make a play, and you have a back has 10 yards to go either way. Good luck. But to me, it comes up from the guys up front. I will always in defense look at the defensive line. If the defensive line does their job, the back, you want to call them 6-7 guys, they're going to be fine. But when you have guys that do that, Nebraska's not good enough the back end. They don't have a Levante David, a Barrett Root, some of the great linebackers we've had here before who can kind of clean up your messes. They're not there yet. Nebraska has to play so disciplined up front that you can't do those type of things. And then you see something like that, and it's hard. And I'm sure the guy told him upstairs in his headset, like, "Hey, Judy went back door. He didn't stay front side A gap." So the lineman was able to get up to second level quicker, and our guys weren't able to get over top to make the play. So yeah, but to me, I wouldn't get totally spooked. I would go to Judy and your D line coach, like, "Hey, stay your butt in the front side A gap. What are you doing? Quit taking. We've done this. Do your job." But if you can't trust your guys to do your job, it's like, you either got to get them out because you can't trust them, or get it fixed and have a talking with them and say, "Hey, don't do that anymore." So I get it. I understand he's a punching bag. It's tough. What we kind of thought going into the season is this inconsistencies, right? Games are great, times are not, and that's a product of having young players and guys who haven't played a ton and not preparing in the right way. They got to be on point this week against Northwestern. They're going to run the ball down our throats. I think they ran the ball 50 times against Purdue last week. So, and 40 sometimes the week before. You got to get it fixed and get prepared for a 4-quarter shootout here with running the football, because they're gonna make sure if Northwestern's going to test you to see if you got fixed or not. Nebraska better get fixed. I hope they get it fixed.
Jay, I'm a Chicago sports fan, which means that I've followed and watched a lot of bad teams in my young life, and typically the cherry on top of just the season going terribly is a players only meeting. I can tell you off the top of my head like 6 or 7 players only meetings I've heard from the Bulls and the Cubs and everybody else, and it just doesn't work out. And yesterday, when Dylan Raiola says, "Well, we had every truth possible came out in a players only meeting," I immediately think, you're 5-2. You're not 2-5. You're 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was interesting. But you being a former player, have you ever been in a players only meeting? And what is like the effectiveness rate of that? And like can it really turn around? Because just in my experience, it just seems like whenever you hear that, it's a lot of empty calories.
Yeah, I have been. Yeah, it can kind of be a lot of wah 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 going on as because it all depends on who's trying to speak up. Players know who has the street cred and who doesn't, and sometimes players will want to speak up and be the voice of reason and be the guy, but it's like, man, you're getting your ass kicked every day on Saturday. What are you talking about? So that's a problem, and I don't know who's talking, and I know Dylan's trying to. He's a leader of this offense as a captain, but he's still young, and I mean he's doing his best, and he can play a lot better, obviously. But he has guys breathing down his neck because the offensive line isn't performing the right way. It's hard when you have these players only meet with a young team. There are some older veteran type guys on this, but also some of these guys haven't been here a ton. You'd think Rocco Spindler could be a good leader. This is his first year here. But you look at guys like Justin Evans. That's a guy I probably want speaking. He's played a ton of football and's been here. But it's hard in the dynamics of college football now with guys just maybe being on campus for 6 to 12 months, and you're trying to trust them. It's hard. But yeah, I don't think it's a necessarily a negative thing, but it shouldn't be. Here's what Nebraska can't do is there's no reason to panic. It's like we just got to prepare better. We got to practice a little better. We got to do some of these things just a little better, and we'll be fine. It's not like you got to completely scrap everything and start over and institute a new offense. It's like no, you got to just turn up the dial a little more and prepare the right way, and everything will be fine. But yeah, those players, I've been a part of them, and sometimes they're productive, sometimes they're not. More times than not, guys always fall back to their habits, their bad habits, and it doesn't matter if a coach or who it is. It's having that internal. I saw a comment today, or I think Kurt Signetti said it. The biggest enemy out there is human nature, and you got to take pride in how you operate. You got to take pride in what you do, and I tell you what, I do know what works though, and I think they had this on Sundays. They watch the game film as a team. That makes a difference. That makes a huge difference when you're watching how many plays there were in the game, and you have your head coach calling you out in front of all your teammates. That can change people's. You can either go hide, or you can say, "Hey, I have some respect about you, and I'm making sure I never get called out again." And that's what I hope what happens. I hope that internal ego pops up and say, "I'm tired of being embarrassed. I'm tired of not doing the right thing on film. I'm gonna get it fixed." And I trust that the culture is good enough at Nebraska that the majority of the guys are going to approach it that way.
Hey, we'll get chatter on this, and Saturday morning is going to be a run the ball game. You alluded to what Northwestern likes to do. Nebraska has talked now this week about establishing the run game. I mean, there's a crazy stat. Emmett Johnson leads the Big Ten in rushing, but the team that he plays for is 133rd in the country in terms of sacks allowed, and there's only 136 teams that get on those stats. So 5 yards per carry for Emmett on first down, but only 2 of his 14 carries were after first down.
Yeah.
In terms of establishing the run, is that on the offensive line or is that on the play caller?
Both. I think a few of those plays early in the game against Minnesota, those are RPOs, and there was some miscommunication. I know Dylan kept it on one, and Hunter was trying to run or was blocking.
Yeah.
Don't give him the option.
Play the game, Jay.
Yeah. Don't give him the option, right? If you're going to run the damn ball. I'm all fans of RPOs. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I think you have to have that in part of the offense and have the defense play, true and respect it. But yeah, you got to commit. He is really, really good. He is his ability to make people miss, but Holgerson's got to trust it. And this O-line, as much as pass pro, they are better, I think, at run blocking than obviously protecting Dylan. So I think you got to lean on that and don't give him an option. And this game might be over by 1:00 if this how much the ball is going to be running. And I'm a fan of that. Let's run the football and let's I don't have the stat off the top of my head. I know Northwestern's a damn good defense, and I'm sure they're. You have a good team, a team that likes to run the football. They're on the opposite side. They're usually pretty good at stopping it because they see it all the time in practice. But do it, commit to it. He's one of your best weapons. Go do it, commit to it, get it done, and then you run in some heavy play action off that, and you use some other wrinkles. The other thing is utilize number 2 in the run game somehow. Get him the damn ball. What's happened to him? He's gone milk cart in the last 2 games. Get him the ball in the short intermediate style. That's a form of the run game. Jets, the quick pop pass. We see that all the time. Use him in the run game as well to get on the edges, and I think they'll be okay. But yeah, I'm interested to see the wrinkles and just how they approach it after after I know the most of the staff and these players don't have much of a butt left after the butt chewing they got this week, which obviously is much deserved.
Yes. Hey, great stuff. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy. Hopefully we'll have an enjoyable Saturday, and we'll talk about it next week ahead of USC.
Okay. So,
See you,
see you,
Jay.
boys.
That is Jay.